I don't know. I can't really say what this boss would be the best way to go about it.
Let's go! I'm here to help!
The fact that the boss can hit invisible, it's like, okay, well, literally anything I can think of goes out the fucking window.
We're fighting you guys. Then please do your best this job, or I'll be really bored.
I need to get...
We're counting on you again today, little apple.
Solid positioning. You're all dead! Come on, quasi tesoro!
Gather around me, guys!
I'll make him disappear.
I wish the opposite was true, that since it connects to the enemy, that it would take more damage from said enemies, but...
I have to get serious
that is not how this works! Because why would it? Why would that work that way? That's way too easy!
You'll have to try harder than that.
I have to get serious now.
I see Foul taking off. Probable ambush in the grass.
Alright, because he can block her. Doesn't really matter blocking her because she hits way too hard.
Stop moving.
Like, seriously, I don't know what they were thinking.
I have to get serious now. Where are the idiots? Drive them into a corner!
Stop moving. I see you.
I'll take on all of you! I have to get serious now.
Come out. Stop hiding.
Come on, quasi tesoro!
Almost dozed off. We're counting on you again today, little apple. Target は誰? Stage に到達。治療目標発見。みんな頑張って。飛び降りるんですか? Let's hurry. The pack and I are waiting.
Oh, lovely.
You thought that would knock me out?
Gather around me, guys.
I see Foul taking off. Probable ambush in the grass.
That is, yeah, way too long. Oh. Stop, cat! I'm gonna kick your ass!
Hurry! The pack and I are waiting. I can go, you can't hide from me! 近いよ、このリズムは今にぴったり！弓の準備はできてるよ。指令を、ファイヤー！
Thank you!
弓の準備はできてるよ。
Thank you, game! Great!
I'm not going to miss. 治療プロセス開始します。
Moving to intersect.
I can go in case if you both do it. 了解した。発射。毒薬の準備の輪郭が見えるかしら。
The amount of DPS that you need is so insane.
Scenery here, Doctor. 近いよ、この矢は外れない気がする。 You thought that would knock me out?
Yeah, there's nothing I can really do. Yeah.
No way I'm gonna swallow this. Can we go one more round?
I'm gonna call it there for not using 6 stars because I what the fuck? And also the Clockwork Servants, I didn't even know that spawns in. I don't think this is a farmable event. Because they didn't really show, I don't think this is... Oh, no! Of course they do! Of course they fucking do that! Jackasses is what they are. Probably one of the more rarer materials that they just kind of fucking put into the game. And it's like, oh yeah, let's just create the most toxic-ass boss in a hot minute and put that with the farming material. Have fucking fun.
The stage is set.
As you can probably tell, I'm not really a big fan of this boss. This boss just feels like stats upon stats, and then add a lot of really stupid enemy mechanics. And then they call it a day.
The battlefield. The place where lives are taken.
Thus, I speak. Waiting for tyranny, the reversal of finality. Waiting for your call.
Can you do it? Whew. We're counting on you again today, little apple. 暗殺なら結構得意だよ。
The shadow beneath your feet is not your own.
I'll make him disappear.
Listen.
It's checkmate.
For them, the bell tolls.
Whew. We're counting on you again today, little apple. Hurry! The pack and I are waiting.
Great! I love it! Can you fucking stop with that
Here,
bullshit?
the morning star, the illumination of wisdom.
I have to get serious now. My fangs are sharp, stupid bird and beast. You're not getting away. Doctor, my power is all yours now. My fangs are sharp. 弓の準備はできてるよ。みんな戦いに集中して。治療は私がやります。
You'll have to try harder than that.
僕は強いんだぞ。くらえ。治療法を見つけた。
Moving to intercept.
Whew. Don't gather around me, guys.
Waiting for your call.
You'll have to try harder than that.
Whew. Almost. I have to get serious now. Patience is key.
I can go. You can't hide from me.
My fangs are sharp. Put down already. I'm not going to miss.
Moving to intercept.
I have to get serious now.
Come on, Sherry, quasi tesoro.
私に任せてノリノリの曲で行くよ。ヘイツ、ドクターのお手伝いだぞ。
Waiting for your veil, the curtain of destiny.
ゲットは誰？
Okay. 6 stars! The fact that this kind of showcases just the insanity of power creep and trying to cater to power creep.
That's our destiny.
Okay. By the way, that will be skipped completely. That'll be taken out of the video because I feel that would be copyright strikes. It's just a guarantee. Anyway, if you really want to watch that sort of thing, you can play it on your own and beat this boss on your own. But I can guarantee you're going to be banging your head against the wall trying to deal with whatever niche. Like, I don't even know if Arknights can actually properly do this boss fight. Because this boss fight's kind of insane. And I'm not that interested trying to fight this boss fair and square with whatever niche I have, because I'm just not interested. I'm sorry, I'm just not. Given everything so far! Stop that! But everything so far with the issues with the anime on Crunchyroll to way overtuned boss stats and mechanics, I think, in my opinion. The fact of the inclusion, this fucking thing to begin with. If that wasn't included, I feel like this would be even a more fairer fight, but Morpheus, in her own right, is stupid. Like, you can easily stall this boss out with 6 stars. That's what they intended you to use. Especially with the amount of resistances the boss have. For some reason, they still want to give stun, frozen, and sleep for whatever fucking reason. Sleep makes sense, actually. Out of everything, sleep is okay, the only one that makes sense. Given so far just the flavor text and like that. Everything else makes no fucking sense. I'm not sorry. It makes no fucking sense to have stun and frozen immunity. Like, that would actually make it more fair if you could do either of those two, but no. Bind's the only thing they really want you to do unless you have power creep, and fear, and lure, and frighten. Oh, we want that because most 6 stars have that, and not many characters below that do. So, yeah. That's all I can really say. It's getting to the point where it's not really becoming strategy, it's becoming, do you have the release in 6 stars? No? Fuck you, have a hard time for no reason at all. So to me, that's what I think. The fact that I felt like it was 6 stars was necessary, but then 6 stars trivialize it. It's getting impartially imbalanced. It feels like. Because the 6 stars keep getting stronger, but it doesn't feel like the mechanics are properly reflecting, especially when and how they appear on a map. For example, first week should be, like, not extremely difficult. It feels like it's really extremely difficult mechanics. Similar to, like, Near Light and how that's difficult. But at least with even with Near Light, it wasn't that bad. Even with the mechanics being difficult. I feel like they just gotta, at this point in the game's lifespan, they just don't really care about properly balancing some things. To the point where it just seems imbalanced. This is like a good example of like a collab event that is way too imbalanced for no reason. It's supposed to be a collab. Like, yes, they have made past collabs difficult for no reason as well. I still think that they didn't need to be that difficult. And then they did one collab where it was so, I say easy, it was easy enough to the point where you didn't really need to worry about the mechanics at all. And they took that to heart really fucking badly. So we get this monstrosity instead. I can't vouch for the other one because I completely skipped it fuck that one. But I'm talking about the second Rainbow Six Siege collab. That one was completely doable, all without a 6-star. And then you have this, where it's like, oh ho ho ho! Fuck you! Seriously, fuck you. Why are you using 4 stars and 5 stars? Like, sure, there's people who have done this without using 6 stars. But I'm not that interested. There's just a lot of factors that make me not interested. The fact that, like, the reason why I haven't really been doing other stuff or really cared about whatever niche I've been doing for the last event, the ATO event, is because there's other things doing that I just can't really put the time into Arknights to begin with. And then they throw this shit, this little shit, at you. I feel like the English side of things is going way too quickly. There's a lot of people that are getting burnt out. Like, I don't know what to say at this point. Like, Arknights is not in a good spot. It's just not. I feel like every decision so far for global is really fucking the global player base more than the CN player base. Personally, in my thought process. And it just so happens that this event comes out now. I feel like they could tune down the boss's stats 100%. Like, the fact that they did bring these fucking things, it would make more sense if it was the Snooty Molar, and they do Sleeping Walking second phase, but not like with the Snooty, but instead, when instantly start the map, it's these guys, the Snooty Molars versus the Sleepwalking Violets. On top of the fact of the Moonlight mechanic, it's not that interesting. Like, it is kind of similar to the Near Light mechanic, where positioning of your operators is to an extent important, but more so just not to get fucked over by the event mechanic, for the event enemies like that. To me, it's like, sure, but like, everything on top of stats, the event mechanic, the boss just being insane, everything combined together, it's just like, this isn't fun. Maybe some people find it fun, trying not to use 6 stars, but when the game, like, really punches you for not using 6 stars, but when you use 6 stars and then it trivializes it, it's like, okay, this is really imbalanced. Probably one of the more imbalanced events we've had in a hot minute. And that's saying something from my experience playing Arknights the last years. The last time I felt like this is way too imbalanced with both mechanics, how you're forced to deal with the mechanics, that honestly, you feel like it doesn't really help you all that much. On top of the boss being stupid for whatever reason. I think back, I keep saying Cliff or Clive. Let's go over to enemies real quickly.
Doctor, come over here for a bit. Let's see.
It's almost the next day, by the way.
The crops cultivated in Jiangxi
So that's
this
probably
year
why
are
it did that.
indeed taller than a man.
It's not exactly next day, but you get the point I'm saying. Enemy. Leaders. Let's go over to Fuckboy, where I felt like this was kind of the start. Yeah, so for me, Cliff is one of those characters that I felt like was way too overtuned in some departments that makes him unfun and more annoying, mostly on the unfun department. Draquil was kind of there, but not really as bad. I think Dolly is kind of in a similar position of Cliff. These two bosses, awesome. Awesome. I could honestly go on and on about who I like and who I don't like. But Morpheus is like similar in terms of power creep / difficulty as the PRTS, and then pretty much these two fucking things. These guys are tied in terms of like where they are, how they feel. They get trivialized by 6 stars, but if you don't use 6 stars, fuck you, it's gonna be the most difficult thing that almost feels like impossible to handle. Without using some weird niche strats or cheese strats to handle whatever you're dealing with. The fact that this technically they're supposed to get this boss before ATO, so it's kind of weird that they decided to do this instead of just changing it to fit with global. But no, it has to fit the CN version. Anyway, yes, this guy's supposed to be ahead of this guy for us, but they didn't do that. So anyway, Saints, I would say, is kind of like in the between of the current meta in terms of difficulty. Where it's like, it's not as difficult as Tragodia. I feel like, Kuhei, Mifune, he's difficult because they gave him stats, not because of his mechanics. So it's like, Tragodia is like the prime, like, what they should go for. I know some people are not going to agree with that, but it's more on the easier end. The mechanics are fine, but they went too hard on stats. The middle ground is like Saint, where like after a certain point it encourages you to 6 stars because of the amount of damage it does, not so much for its mechanics. And then the high end, why the fuck do you like this? The RTS and Morpheus. That's kind of how, like, the modern bosses are kind of right now. Not considering IS, not considering whatever fuck other things that spawned in, that they decided to spawn in. Like, these guys, which I have barely touched SSS since this boss, because, again, it's not worth it after a certain point. And whatever the hell spawns in here. That I have yet to really touch or mess with since I kind of played that. So yeah, I kind of wish we went back to these guys and things in age of like they have difficult like mechanics that to deal with, but they feel fair even for 4 stars and 5 stars. Some people may disagree. I did not use the event mechanics, so if you want to think I should have been using the event mechanics to defeat Matteo, then okay, sure, try to make him a little bit stronger, but how would he balance that out? You kind of see the issue that comes with that. I think Snowbreed Sui is like probably for me my favorite boss. If you had to count these bosses, my last favorite boss that I faced. But I also feel like they could have buffed his second phase a little bit, even if I do like this boss. The boss mechanic. I actually really enjoyed that boss mechanic, honestly. Way better than Gluttony. Way better than Gluttony. I can't say anything about Alistair because I didn't do second week. Fuck this boss. This fight actually more so than the boss. It's more so the fact that, oh yeah, let's make everything invisible. That's not a fun mechanic. To me, it's not a fun mechanic. The way the event is and like that, I just... at the time, I didn't have a working PC, so the fact that it was like these 3 bosses got shafted in terms of like going to second week. I could technically go and try to do Alistar, but I don't really care. I'm too busy doing other shit right now to fucking worry about going back to this bitch ass. Anyway. I didn't mind Zaba Diam move. I like Sam. But again, so pretty sweet. I liked a lot. Really? Morpheus is kind of like the bane of both worlds, annoying mechanics and inflated stats. With said mechanics not really helping with that degree either. Like again, Mifune is not bad. It just is. It's the fact that they decided to increase the stats so much that it just felt really unfun and super bulky. It's possible to do without 6 stars, but it's just I didn't find it fun. I know, some people go back and forth with this boss. This boss is like... The issue with flying bosses, honestly, is that with the way they are handled, you either get Saint or you get All Flames Returned. None in between. And I don't know which would even be better. honestly, both are equal in terms of difficulty. Really being honest. Until the fact that it's 3 weeks for Saint, unlike Returned, which is like only 2 weeks. So you have to take that into account. Anyway, I have a feeling that if there's a lot of people that say they're rushing to the events too much, they're just gonna swing the other way with the pendulum and just go with not enough content. And I feel like that is a very good likelihood that's gonna happen, because I don't know why they're trying to bomb rush through all of these events. To me, it makes no sense for them to do so. Personally, I just feel like it's a little too much. Slow it down. Anyway. Now, I don't know how these characters really are against the boss. Like, is the boss really worth it to be this difficult? Like, are these really strong characters? That strong of characters that you need to make a boss that strong? Really? Like, that's the only thing that I could assume that why the boss would be as insane as it is. They expect new players to get all these characters work together, these characters are really good, to the point that they probably could go through the first week relatively fine. And that's why, in some way, 6 stars kind of trivialize it. There's just a few of them. That'll probably be the case for Psychico. But I kind of hate that reasoning. They could do that, but I don't like it, if that's their approach to first week. And that's kind of the issue with collabs in general, of like what would be the best idea. To me, I just kind of hate the idea that that's how they went about the difficulty. If that's really how it is at the end of the day. Because to me, it just feels way too imbalanced as a veteran
Vanguard
player.
Yato here.
Anyway,